Sioux Empire baseball fans, and welcome back to the SEBA Insider for the 2011 baseball season. We're here in the Avera Sports Institute Golf Dome in the Avera Sports Institute classroom, joined by Executive Director Lyle Smith of the Sioux Empire Baseball Association, giving his State of the Association address. Lyle, let's review a little bit of 2010. Sioux Falls Post 15 East, Legion runner-up. Talk about the association growth and the state tournaments that you hosted.
Well, thank you, Chris, for having me speak today about the association. This is a little different format. Usually we do this at the end of the annual meeting that we have. But last year, in retrospect, I felt a very good year. We were very pleased with how Legion East finished up. Legion and West also participated in the state tournament and barely got beat by Rapid City Post 22, the eventual state champion. So when you look at our advanced teams, starting with Legion East, working all the way down to VFW level, the 15, 16-year-old level was dominated by our East Side clubs. The 15, 16 East club won the state championship in the majors, and 15, 16 Central won the minors. So we were very pleased with that. 14 West finished third, and then 13 West had a very good performance in the state tournament in their division. So up and down the line, I really felt it was the best VFW season that we had for a long time, and I felt very good about the coaches that we had, and looking forward for many of these individuals to come back. And I would be leaving out our spring high school baseball season. I surely don't want to do that. O'Gorman was our state champion. That was held at the Sioux Falls Pheasant Stadium, and just yesterday we were informed that we are going to host the Class A state championship in spring high school baseball again in the Sioux Falls Stadium, so we're very pleased with that.
Talk a little bit about the state of the association in terms of developmental leagues. Despite the economic downturn in the economy, we've seen an increase in registrations, a 3% increase you've stated various years that we've continued to progress. Talk a little bit about that and what you expect for the 2011 season.
Well, that was a concern several years ago when we did have the economic downturn, the recession. I was concerned that the support that we've had from our various local merchants in regards to our team development program and the sponsorship program might see a little bit of a downturn, so to speak, and we've been very pleased that our sponsorship levels have continued to increase the past 2 years. This year we've already reached our goals for the 2011 season, and participation has continued to grow. The association has been able to maintain the registration fees at the levels that we've had the past 2-3 years, which I think is very good despite inflation and the cost of equipment. We've been very prudent in what we're trying to do. We've purchased things that we feel are absolutely necessary, like baseballs obviously, and bats. And participation levels have increased. And there's a lot of different reasons why. Obviously, the population has increased. We have kids getting more involved with baseball, beginning with our rookie level. And so all these things kind of work hand in hand. There's a lot of variables. We've been very, I think, progressive in how we try to approach providing opportunities in regards to expanding batting cages and things that kids and their parents and coaches can use to get kids more involved with the game. I see it even on the Miracle League level. We're expanding our programming. It's a very special program to me because it's an outstanding program in regards to providing those kids that have not had an opportunity to play baseball in the past with a chance to play baseball. And for those people who have never seen the Miracle League, it's a great program to get involved with as a baseball buddy or just a casual fan. And the glitch with the program is that once the kids left high school, there wasn't anything for them to do. And so we're starting an adult league, which we've had some response, some interest, so I hope that we can continue developing that program.
Let's talk a little bit about the sponsorships. You felt it a need to make another staff position in the association, so you came up with the position title of Development Director, and you hired Diane Moen, who came on, and she handles our sponsorships, and she's done a tremendous job with our sponsorships. But also talk a little bit about her position and also the unique ways we're getting at this, you Empire baseball people, with billboards and commercials and stuff this year in the 2011 season.
Exactly. It's always good to get your mark out, your brand, the SEBA brand. And Diane was hired because it just gets to be, as we continue to grow, I get overextended. I would have liked to in the past years gone out personally and make contacts, and that's not always possible when you're running a program that has roughly 4,000 kids, over 260 teams. It just gets to be a point where you have to have additional staff to help you out. In case in point, your position as camp coordinator and VFW coordinator, we just need extra people. Two people cannot run an association this large, and Amy Gash has done a wonderful job with the internal mechanism and operations that we have within the association. And so Diane stepped up in October and allowed me to continue to work with the sponsorships, but gave her a chance to visit some new sponsors. And I was very pleased that we've been able to reach our goal already, and also expand our visibility by virtue of some trade in kinds, gifts in kinds with O2 Media and Media Mid-Continent with television spots on their channel. And so all this stuff kind of goes hand in hand. And we need to continue to do that in order to keep the beat the beast, so to speak, because as we grow, if we're going to try to keep registration fees at a very nominal level, we need to continue to keep developing our sponsorship program.
Right. Let's talk about the big one. This one is gaining attention not only in South Dakota but in the Midwest. That's the Harmon Project. Explain a little bit about it. Let's start from the beginning, the vision that you yourself had and that the association had, along with the board members, and then talk about, obviously the progress of the project. A lot of people are interested, and obviously this project wouldn't have been made without the private donations of sponsorships and businesses in the local community, and of private donors that don't want to come forward and share their name, but they're going to be recognized in ways that will share their names.
Well, the Harmon Project is a very exciting project for youth baseball in Sioux Falls. When I arrived here in 2002, one thing that really stuck out was the lack of facilities for youth baseball. We were utilizing Yankton Trails. That was in a position of trying to accommodate several different divisions on several fields, ag line, no grass. We had real issues with upkeep and mounds, and how do you keep a mound in good condition for a 15, 16-year-old and a 13, 14-year-old playing on it. And so Yankton Trails and then Nelson Field was another field that our Legion and high school teams used, and we were allowed 30 dates at the stadium. And Harmon was in the process of being developed. It came online about 2-3 years later after I came here in 2002. And I was fortunate, we had a Legion game over in Marshall, Minnesota. And I started looking at their facility that they had for Legion Baseball. I'm like, wow, this is something we need. And so it started then, way back with Don Pearson, who at that time was the president of the Legion Parent Board. And we met with a Georgia Southern representative, Georgia Bleachers, and started kind of mapping it out. And it took many years because you had to have some of the things in place like 501c3 status for the association so that donors could get tax breaks on their donations. And so it's been a process. Obviously it had to go through the park department and then the park board and then the city council. And I was very pleased that we have had all along the line extremely supportive groups behind this project. The project wouldn't come off without, of course, money. And we've been very fortunate the response that we received from First Premier, Mid-Continent, Avera, Zimmer Davis, the Hurley family. And, when you're talking about the donators, I'm going to miss somebody.
Absolutely.
But, every donation, regardless if it was $25 or a major league level donor, was extremely important.